Hello everyone, your voice here and welcome to the channel Sansevieria 101. So for this episode, we're going to feature another inflorescence or flower bloom coming from the Sansevieria species, which is known as nitida. And I have managed to capture the first picture dated August 15th, 2024. And right now what I'm showing you um, is a picture of the early stages of the inflorescence wherein we are in the budding stages, probably the first to second day when I started to spot them. uh, and then right now it has grown in height. Some of the budding skins are left on the bottom portion of the flower stalk, and then the topmost portion would be composed of the flower bracts, and they are still in a cone-like shape. So as the days progress, you will see that the flower tubes would grow from the flower bracts, and they would start to grow longer on their own, and also start to grow apart from each other as the days goes by. So we will discuss the characteristics of the inflorescence on the second part, but what I'm showing you right now is probably the transformation of the flower stalk or the inflorescence of Sansevieria nitida. And we are on the last days of the budding stages. After a couple more days, we will probably reach the blooming stages wherein the flower tubes would open up. But right now, you will see that the stalk has grown significantly in height. Later on, we'll measure how tall it is, how tall the actual inflorescence is. But right now, what I'm showing you is the flower tubes growing apart from each other. They have grown from the flower bracts, and they have grown in length as well. Um, so I guess this is the last days of the budding stages. Then after which we will be reaching the blooming stages wherein the flower tubes would start to open up for us. So again, in just a couple more days, we will be reaching the blooming stages, and perhaps this is the last day of it in the budding stages. That's the actual picture of the height of the inflorescence. And there's like a crown-like shape on the topmost portion, which I focused in a bit in that particular picture. And aside from that, we will be reaching the blooming stages, and I think this is already the stage wherein it bloomed. Sansevieria nitida bloomed, and almost half of the flower tubes have opened up. So later on, perhaps we will discuss the difference from it from elliptica. Elliptica will bloom, but some of the flower tubes will open up, not like nitida that almost half of it have opened up in just the first day. So in the second part, I hope you can still be with us to watch the uh, a video clip of how we will take measurements of the actual inflorescence of Sansevieria nitida, and also as well as I will be giving out some of a brief history of the species nitida itself. So please stay tuned as we move into transition into the second part of our episode for this content. Alright folks, so we're back, and this is the second part of the content wherein we will be discussing the inflorescence or flower bloom, its characteristics, take measurements of the inflorescence or flower bloom of the Sansevieria species known as nitida, and as well as I'll be giving you a background of the history of how this plant was collected. So I'll move back a bit so everyone can see how large nitida can be. This is, by the way, a mature specimen, and it is potted on a 12-inch diameter pot, and I think the depth of the this pot is 10 inches. And by the way, this is a concrete pot. The mold is the 18 liters of the drinking water container. That's the half or almost half of the size of it. And what I do is I take off the top part, and then I would make it a mold, and the other half would be with at least an inch thick of concrete mold. That's how some of my pots are made, so they are very heavy. It's somewhat a workout for me to carry them and to repot some of the plants in our garden. So again, this is how the inflorescence looks like in full size. And to give you a brief info or information about Sansevieria nitida, uh, Sansevieria nitida is collected by Gilfred Powys. So he's one of the famous personas in the Sansevieria world, because one of the species, Powysii, was named after the person Gilfred Powys. That species, the Powysii species, was named or is named in honor, or was named in honor to Gilfred. So again, Sansevieria nitida is collected. Was first collected at Galano Ranch in Kenya, and it was collected by Gilfred. But Barry Yinger, or by Barry Yinger, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, said that he also found the species in some parts of Tanzania. So I was also wondering why the name nitida. So nitida came from a Latin word nitidus, which means glossy. So glossy because some of the leaves of it, as we investigate, I'm trying to find a leaf for you so we can there you go. I think this is the best example because you can see the leaf being glossy, so that's where the name came from. But the back part though isn't glossy, it's dull colored. Only the front part of the leaf is glossy. As such, the back part is not glossy, and when we feel the texture of the leaf surface for nitida, the front part is somewhat smooth to the touch, but the back part is kinda rough to the touch, a little I would say it's a little rough, like sandpaper rough. That's how rough the back part of Sansevieria nitida is. So going back, nitidus means glossy in English. So the Latin word is nitidus. The English equivalent of it is glossy. And since it is an adjective, the ICN mandates that the specific name should follow the gender of the generic name. So the generic name of the genus is Sansevieria, being a female's name, so we have to follow the gender, and we have to make nitidus somewhat female in Latin words. So instead of nitidus, it is known as nitida. It is the female form of nitidus. Also, you can find reference about Sansevieria nitida, page 91 of the Splendid Sansevieria by Juan Chainayan, that was published 2005. That's the reference as to how the nitida species was discovered. Aside from that, though, there are no current articles about nitida in the International Sansevieria Society, except for the book that won China and published back 2005. So I guess that's what I can give you as per the background of this particular Sansevieria species. So next is we will try to figure out the characteristics of the inflorescence of it. By the way, my plant is a mature plant. It is a large plant. So if some of you are wondering if you've seen pictures of some Sansevieria nitida having shorter inflorescence, that is because they have smaller specimens. My specimen is quite large. So if you can see what are the other characteristics that would make it distinct aside, because we are having problems. If the specimen is smaller, the stalk is also shorter. If the specimen is mature and larger, the flower stalk would be longer or taller. So what we need to do is to figure out how many flowers per cluster are on Sansevieria nitida. So as I'm counting, there are a lot. Average, there are 2 flower tubes in one cluster is growing, but from this part over here, I don't know if you can see which my finger is pointing, that is containing 3 flowers in a cluster. So that draws to the conclusion that Sansevieria nitida has a flower per cluster of 3 to 1 flowers in the cluster. Some of the cluster would have 3 flowers on the middle part. Mostly there are 2 flowers in the cluster, but on the top part you just end up with 1 flower tube attached directly to the flower stalk. And of course you would see I'm trying to focus that on top of that flower stalk, you'd see something that is resembling a crown-like appearance. You would also find that on the elliptica horwood inflorescence. I'm just emphasizing that it exists. Maybe it can be used in the future as one of the distinctive characteristics of the inflorescence. I'm just emphasizing that. If in any case the experts have mislooked that part of the flower stalk, which I don't see on mostly some of the inflorescence that I deal with. So aside from that, I have managed to figure out the leaf texture. I have described it to you, the inflorescence. What's next would be we will take the height of the inflorescence. So like I said, this flower stalk is from a big specimen, so I would say that it's kinda leaning towards the left, but I would say it's around 19 to 18 inches long, because it's curling towards the left. I can't really get the exact measurements of it, but if you try to make it straight, it would reach to 19 inches. So 18 to 19 inches for this specimen's inflorescence. So we have managed to get the flowers per cluster. We counted, we measured the inflorescence height. We will try to measure the flower tubes length. So I'm getting 1.5 from there, and the ones that are long, that are ready to open up, would be very close to 2 inches. So that is the measure of the flower tube. I don't have the other equipment or tool that I have, the caliper, with me right now, so I guess the ruler will have to do. We managed to get the measurements of the parts of the inflorescence. For the leaf length, putting the ruler to where the topsoil is, so I would say that the longest leaf that I'm trying to measure would be that one. I'm not trying to really hold I'm not trying to move the specimen because it is blooming right now, and I am trying to pollinate it with the Ruxburgianus species. That is why I'm not trying to move it around, because that would render the pollination, it will kind of make it or mess up the pollination process, and fruits will not be formed if I move the inflorescence or the plant around that much. So as much as possible, I'm not trying to move it, so we're trying to just take measurements of it while refraining from moving it too much. So this is probably what I'm measuring. It's about 19 to 21 inches for the longest leaf. Some leaf would be around 13, so I would say 13 to 21 inches for the leaf length. For the leaf width, this is the easiest one that I can measure, so it's about 2.8 to 3 inch. For the leaf size, this one is clearer, so I would say that's really about really 3 inches for Sansevieria nitida's leaf width. So we have managed to measure the leaf length, leaf width. What other characteristics that we can find about nitida is the leaf tip. That's how the leaf tip looks like. This was the youngest, and you would still see that there's Subulate tip present, but upon maturity they will kinda wilt, so they will look as such when they have matured. When in juvenile form, the tip would be needle-like in characteristics and brownish in color. So that's how I would describe the leaf tips of Sansevieria nitida. Next would be, this is the pattern of the back part. The back part is kind of, you would see a coating on it. This coating, the whitish one, would repel the water that the leaves would come into contact with. So that's how the back part of the leaf looks like. The older ones would look like this, not very much glaucous anymore. Glaucous is a term for the whitish coating that is found in the back of the leaf part. This one is also the coating that I'm talking about. If you try to wet it, it will not absorb water, it will repel it. So that's how the leaf pattern looks like. Also, you will see that it is mottled. You'd see the dark green outline, which is thick, then the lighter green on the base color of the leaf. Also, there are some lines which are very thin. You can barely see it, but I'm trying to focus you so I can point out the lines on the leaf. That's how the pattern looks like for Sansevieria nitida. The front part, this is how it would look like. It's the name suggests, it's glossy in appearance. You'd see the light try to reflect back, and you'd still see the dark green outline, and then the lighter green, and then there are a lot of very thin lines on the pattern of Sansevieria nitida. So I guess that is it for the leaf pattern of the species that we are featuring. Aside from that, I think I have nothing to add. This is how the juvenile leaf looks like. Actually, it's raining hard out here, and you would see that there are these ants that have wings flying around the light. So I'll try to end this content before I'm overrun by the ants that are flying around here. So I guess this is it, folks. Before I get overrun, if you have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment below. And if you like what we are featuring for you, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.